Welcome to step 2 of the 7-step challenge.
Step 2 is adaptive emotional responses. This is one of the most vital steps so that we ensure we're not going in circles around the problem and we can advance to the next step. So if lessons are repeated until they are learned, then there's a valuable lesson that's meant to be gained.
And step 2 is the most fundamental step that is commonly missed, which causes us to prolong the problem, therefore recycle our patterns and repeat these lessons instead of transforming the conditions we wish to change and advance to the next stage of our life or succeeding, which prevents us from achieving better outcomes or reaching our desired goal. So missing this vital step can also cause poor coping and escaping behaviors, which could be codependency on food, shopping, electronics, relationships, substances, and so forth, which increases fears, causing them to escalate and breed unhealthy relationships and lifestyles, turning to false comforts to anesthetize the pain or fill voids instead of dissolving and fighting freedom from these mental addictions and passing it on to offspring and future generations with the same burdens that are often within our subconscious programming. So we will cover the correct and simple steps to recode the programming for good and remove the fear that causes these looping patterns with ease, just as we have for our clients. We're identifying new healthy coping strategies.
So we can use an ABC model to also identify this. A, what is the adversity that you are experiencing? B, what is the belief and thought to the adversity? C, what is the consequence of this belief, such as what do you feel or what is your behavior? And what are you resisting to help identify the limiting belief or the fear? So can you come to terms and accept the problem rather than turning to unhealthy coping mechanisms, such as resisting and denying? And when we judge ourselves, we use shame as the weapon to use unhealthy escaping.
And just to elaborate on escaping, escapism leads to codependency and other addictions to anesthetize the pain instead of facing it with ease through these steps.
Escapism does lead to these codependency and addictions. We all have room to improve. So asking for help and seeking a therapist is one of the most empowering approaches to course correct, although it may appear contrary, so that we can remove the stigma around mental health because conditioning in society can run deep. So a safe place to turn to is vital, which means to listen without judgment or feeling judged and being corrected. Tough it out, soldier on, and just let it go approaches in society have resulted in repression and shame, causing even greater repercussions of destructive and toxic behaviors, instead of demonstrating understanding and empathy, therefore breeding narcissistic behaviors, because we're meant to be human and not machines. So we want to normalize feelings in our society for emotional freedom, resilience, and healthy regulation. This is what helps us to heal trauma. So if we begin to align or affirm the solution or ideal outcome that we desire and perhaps painful feelings surface, then that's likely an indicator that there's a suppressed emotion that needs to be addressed.
Can you identify any judgments you have perceived from others or held towards yourself related to your challenge? Some adaptive emotional responses are accepting and coming to terms with the present reality, which teaches us how to self-regulate and create emotional autonomy, instead of denying or dissociating, which are distortions from suppressing our feelings. An individual may experience subconscious stress when they have not grieved the disappointments and losses of relationships and life experiences. As this stress increases, the subconscious attempts to suppress it. Healthy grieving may naturally occur as the person gets in touch with his or her emotions. If the individual has blamed past negative experiences on others, then forgiveness becomes an important part of letting go. And anger frequently will mask grief issues and resulting from feelings of loss or betrayal, which the individual doesn't yet know how to release in a healthy manner. Disappointments and distress may manifest as anger and self-sabotage. So be sure to watch out for that. A willingness to initiate or accept changes can correct problems and prevent subconscious anger from building in the first place. And that's one reason why it's a very important adaptive emotional response. With a calm security gained through the release of subconscious anger-related stress, completion of the grieving process, and willingness to face challenges, the individual can then become better able to experience harmony and appreciate beauty appropriately.
And the next step in the PANACEA will help us to neutralize emotional triggers and heal wounds so we can establish forward momentum and up level to the next stage of our life. So stay tuned for our next podcast.
So if you wish to learn more and are truly ready to transform your conditions and your relationships from inherent programming for good, then go ahead and click the link below to get started